Hi, I'm Sarah with FaithfulFinishLines.com, and we are talking about how to do advanced preparation to have a healthy week ahead. And there are 4 different ways that I think are most helpful to do advanced prep to have a healthy week. And I've lost 100 pounds. And so definitely I have learned some successful tips and strategies that have definitely worked for me that I've learned from some bumps and things along the way for how I can have a healthy week. So I'm still experimenting a little bit with the Facebook live feed. So definitely if you're joining in, I'd love to have you comment or do some different things as we go here. So we're talking about advanced prep, how you can do advanced prep to have a healthy week as we go. So there are 4 ways that I think are definitely important for you to have a healthy week that you can do to have a healthy week as you go. And these are the 4 things that I think are really important to have a healthy week as you go along. The first one is to plan your meals. The second is to plan healthy snacks. The third is to plan when you're going to do your grocery shopping. And then the 4th is the one that I think that we most often forget, and that is to mentally prepare. So we're talking about 4 ways to plan ahead to have a healthy week. It's to plan your meals, plan healthy snacks, grocery shop, and mentally prepare. So planning healthy meals. If you're joining us and you have a way that you're able to comment, I'm still experimenting with the Facebook feed, but comment for us. Do you plan ahead healthy meals for the week ahead? And if so, when do you do that? I have 2 different ways that I found are most successful for me for planning healthy meals. The first one is to do it on the weekends to plan for the week ahead. And for me, that is just sitting down on Saturday or Sunday and planning out, usually 5 meals, planning for leftovers for the week ahead. So that's the first one that's been successful for me. Sounds really simple, but works. And then the second one is freezer cooking. And this is something that I've been doing for years, and that's to do batch cooking or freezer cooking, once a month cooking, or all different things that's called. And that's to make 15 or 20 meals at once, put them in the freezer, and then I've got them ready to go for the entire month. It's a ton of work for the couple of days that I do it, but then it's done. So if you're able to comment, let me know. What do you do to plan your meals for your family? Do you plan for the week ahead? Do you do any freezer cooking? Put a comment in the comments and let us know. How do you plan ahead for your meals? Or do you just grab something at the grocery store for a few days at a time? So how do you plan for healthy meals? The second one is healthy snacks. Now this is one where I found even if I can plan healthy meals, I struggle more with healthy snacks. So what are some ways that you have found are successful for you for incorporating healthy snacks? Now I definitely have found that I'm more successful if I plan on the weekend for the coming week. And a couple of different things that I found are helpful. Definitely doing as much chopping and prep as I can definitely helps. Sometimes just buying a veggie tray, and even though it's a little bit more expensive, but everything is pre-prepped, and then our family, I'll just put it out like after school for the kids, and that's their snack, and everybody just munches on that. Or I'll make my own veggie tray with a healthy dip that we all like. And I see here Corinne from Running by the Book has a comment for us, and she says, I plan my meals ahead on Sundays. I plan at least 5 meals with leftovers. It's huge in helping me get through the week. So thanks, Corinne. That's awesome. That's a great way to do it, and really similar to what I do too. I lucked out that I have a daughter right now who's in culinary school, and she really likes to cook and give us her ideas from culinary school and also from Pinterest. We both really like Pinterest, and so we get on there and we find different ideas and things like that. So if you're watching and you like Pinterest, maybe you can put a comment in there and tell me if you like Pinterest, and so we can be Pinterest friends on there. So So if you have found a way to incorporate healthy snacks, maybe you could put a comment on that. So I was just mentioning having a healthy veggie tray or chopped veggies in advance. That's a way that has definitely helped me. Another tip that has helped me is having huge salads that I prepare, and leaving the dressing off so it doesn't get really soggy, but having huge salads has been another way that has been really beneficial for me. There's some new pre-packaged chopped salads that I find really helpful for prep for the week in advance. So thinking about that ahead of time to have some healthy snacks that I plan for the week ahead has made a big difference. And for me, also incorporating protein, because I'm a carb lover. I absolutely love my carbs. So I really have to think about, especially when you're doing a lot of exercise, you need to have protein. So how can I have some of those protein-rich foods incorporated into my meals and incorporated into my snacks? So again, we're talking about healthy prep for a week, for the week in advance, and 4 different areas: healthy meals, healthy snacks, grocery shopping, and then the 4th one that I think often gets left out, and that is mental preparation. So let's look at the 3rd one, and that's grocery shopping. When do you do your grocery shopping? So if you're joining us live, put a comment in there for me and let me know, when do you do your grocery shopping? I'm just curious to know. I think a lot of people do their grocery shopping on the weekends. My daughter and I were at the grocery store yesterday, which was a Saturday, and it was crazy. I usually try to do my grocery shopping during the week. I'm fortunate that I can do that. Corinne, again from Running by the Book, says snacks for us include a lot of whole fruits, nuts, chickpeas roasted. Oh, that's a really good idea. Beef jerky. I try to keep the snacks real and not processed as much as possible. Those are great ideas for snacks. And I know that roasted chickpeas, there are some different recipe ideas that you can get online. You can do like an Indian type spice, or you can do Southwest spice for those. I've tried that with some different ones. Melissa says, grocery shopping is my downfall. Laugh out loud. I grocery shop on Fridays, but we end up at the store almost every day. And that's something that I've been working on. We've actually been really trying to work on our financial budget. And what I'm finding is that when we're trying to get back to being better about our financial budget, I'm sometimes better about our healthy budget because I have to be more disciplined in that area. And so if I'm better about making sure that I'm keeping those dollars in line, then I'm just so much more consistent about sticking to a list, shopping. I'm keeping myself out of the store, and so to keep within that budget. So I've been a lot more careful about really planning carefully. So I don't know if you find that true for you, but I definitely find that true for me. So the question was, when do you do your grocery shopping? So I'm planning for the week ahead and shopping either on Sunday or Monday so that I can be planning ahead for the week. Any other tips that you might have about grocery shopping and what works for you? And I know the one that we always hear is take your list with you and don't go hungry. Those are the biggest ones that we always hear, and I think it definitely is true. Now, the last one is a tip that I think is so often not mentioned, and that's how to mentally prepare. What have you found to be helpful for you to mentally prepare for the week ahead? And maybe a good question to ask is, what do you think are your biggest mental hurdles as you think about the areas in your week that you really break down, or you find that this is where I really tend to overeat, or I lose it, or I'm not exercising? Or so if you've got a comment that you can add in that, where do you find that are your biggest breakdown areas in your week when it comes to staying healthy? And put a comment about that, because I'd love to hear about that. So these are some of the areas that I find for myself. These are some of the things that I find myself saying or thinking, and it's I'm in a rut, or today was a bad day, or when I really get down on myself, if I've just been overeating a lot, or just not exercising like I should, I'll just say, oh, I'm no good, or oh, just forget it. I've already blown it. If I already ate this, I might as well just eat this. Melissa again said, well, she was talking about the list. She said, I write my list out ahead and then categorize it by aisle. That's a really good idea. And then she said, hands down, my worst is at night after work. I want a glass of wine or junky, munchy food and end up stopping at the store. Oh, that's a really good point too. And you just feel like fatigue. I think that's a really good one. You're tired, and our defenses are down when we're tired. So that's a really good point, that if you can be prepared. And then Corinne says, I shop online at Amazon Subscribe and Save, King Soopers online stores, and even have my groceries delivered most weeks. Helps me in my current medical condition to stay out of the store and keep me from buying things I don't need. That's a wonderful tip. That's not something I would have thought of, but you don't even have to go in the store at all if you buy it online. So, if you have Amazon Prime, you don't have to pay for shipping. That's something that we've started doing, and that's a really good idea. So, just don't even go there at all. So those are some really great tips. Thank you to both of you for that. So we're talking about how to be mentally prepared, and I was sharing some of the things that I say to myself and when I get down on myself. And these are some tips that I have found really helpful for me when I am saying some of those things to myself, like, oh, forget it, today was such a bad day, or, oh, I've already blown it, I might as well just totally blow it. Think of yourself as an outside observer. Like, imagine that you're watching yourself. Try to kind of separate from yourself a little bit. So imagine that you can see yourself there, and it's as if you're watching yourself from, maybe like outside your kitchen window, and you're watching, and be a little bit impartial. Like, you're a scientist and you're an outside observer. And so you say, I wonder why I did that. That's interesting. So if you ate 6 handfuls of chocolate chips from the freezer, not that I ever would have done that. I'm just, using this totally hypothetically, but you come home and you might happen to do that. Instead of saying, oh, I'm just no good, I'm not ever going to lose any more weight, I can't believe I did this again after I said I wasn't going to do this. And instead of going into that routine of beating yourself up, instead be an outside observer like a scientist would do and say, now I said I wasn't going to do that, but yet again I did that. I wonder why I did that. Isn't that interesting? And after years of beating yourself up, it's hard to get into the habit of doing that. But the more you can do it, the more that you can separate yourself from that emotion, it will make a tremendous difference. So if you can think of mentally preparing yourself that way, try it. Try it for this next week. Decide that when you start talking to yourself in a negative way, you're going to just stop, take a step to the side, and become an observer. Become a scientist of yourself and say, I wonder why I did that, and just become an observer. Try it for this next week and see how it goes. So those are 4 areas that you can work on to be mentally and physically prepared to have a super healthy week this next week. And what works for one person won't work for another person. So it's really important that you find what works for you. And even what works for you now will be different for you at another time. So this is fluid and something that you can continue to try new things. So 4 areas: planning healthy meals, planning healthy snacks, plan when you'll do your grocery shopping, and be mentally prepared. And for that last one, we talked about decide that you're going to step to the side when you get emotional and just be an observer. And instead of beating yourself up when you do something that you're frustrated with, say, that's interesting. I'm just going to be a scientist about myself and say, I wonder why I did that. So those are the things I'd like you to think about for this next week and focus on. If you can find one way in each of those areas to set a small goal for yourself, just a small goal of how you can make a tiny improvement in that area, you will have a really healthy and successful week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sarah from FaithfulFinishLines.com, and I'm thrilled that you joined us. Thank you.